feel like I'm getting ready for an infomercial with this music. I feel like I'm at a what are those
Like a
things called?
drug commercial.
Timeshare.
Oh.
Getting ready to go to a timeshare. Or some big announcements coming, right? Some big announcement.
FIA 201 is happening.
FIA 201, 201, FIA 201. We'll give it a few more minutes. I don't know how many emails that we sent out, but hopefully we get some more contestants on The Price is Right. Come on down, Bonnie. You're the next contestant on The Price is Right.
So I picked up another 2 today.
Just like that, they're like on the ground. Aaron, you just bent over, picked up another 2. Here it is.
I think they're just calling her. Hey.
Look, I think you're meeting with Matt on Monday, right, Matt? You guys will meet on Monday or when?
It's Monday.
Monday.
Great job, Aaron. Keep it up.
Who got there? It sounds like Kristen Cochran, I think, right?
It is.
How about that? I got like a voice inter. I can pick out people. Hey, Bonnie, there you are. Good to see you.
Well, actually, our next meeting is on Thursday, Aaron.
With Aaron?
Yeah.
All right.
We're doing a different one tomorrow.
Matt, I have a meeting with you on Monday, too.
Yeah, Monday's the one with the gal, but tomorrow we got to finish that app.
Yeah, that's tomorrow at noon, and then Monday with Monday also with you and Adele.
Beautiful name. I love it. Adele.
She's a beautiful, wonderful, she's an amazing human being. I want to be like her when I turn 80. I lost the Zoom. Here we go.
What do you think? We ready to go? 34 people here. We're at 502. We can go ahead and kick it off, and we're obviously going to record it. So we're in good shape. So hey, good to see everybody today. 34 participants. This is a fixed indexed annuity 201 session. And let me give you a little bit of context on how these trainings or sessions are going to go throughout the year. You guys are more than welcome to join any session that you want. You're more than welcome. That's the wrong PowerPoint. You're more than welcome to join the 101s, the 201s. The 301s are specific for those that have produced 1.5 or above. Last year, you produced 1.5. This year, then you'll be invited to those 301s. Michael, I don't know who's sharing, you or Kelsey.
I am.
Let me just Joe and his box of crayons went to town here a little bit, so we made some adjustments here.
Yeah, I made some more adjustments after you did.
Oh, that's not good. They're not going to be in there. So just make sure we'll figure that out, Maddie, when we get there. So the 301 is, that group that kind of has earned membership into the club, right? You produce 1.5 million and then you'll get invited to those 301 sessions. And they also come with a little bit of perks as well too. Something that Aaron doesn't know yet. There's a postcard that we have with some different data that we're going to, kind of, pilot and things like that. We've got some other things there that we're going to try with kind of like some seminars and some lunch and learn type of concepts. So I would encourage you as you kind of transition into the FIA, getting to that 1.5 and FIA. And if you do it here in the next month, Josh Berger, who might do it here in 1 month because he just submitted 1.25, and it just got approved by the standard. So we're just waiting on funds. So he'll be a stone's throw away from getting into that FIA elite club. But if you think about it, we start off with 101 series, and those 101s kind of give you a little bit of backbone of how to ask Mr. and Mrs. Jones, right? How to kind of plant the seed and then bring your FML in or bring Matt, Gary, or Jack in. So we can, close down some of those opportunities. I would think that Josh, Berger, and he probably doesn't mind me saying this, but he's probably a 101, right? And, he hasn't written a ton of these, just a handful, couple. But most of that's been done with the FIA team, and he hasn't really been too self-sufficient on them. But what did he do? He asked, right? He asked the right questions, and by asking those questions, it led to a pretty significant fixed indexed annuity. And it's funny, he and I just got off the phone before the call, and he's like, Joe, it's amazing. I said, yeah, but you know what? So are the $25,000 ones. So are the $50,000 ones. So are the $100,000 ones. Why? Because you're helping people, right? You're helping them where they're at and what their needs are, right? So when you're going through your daily routine of your appointments and you're talking to your clients, never kind of just put this umbrella on them. Always just try to get to the point. Mr. and Mrs. Jones, what can I do today to help you? What can we do today to put you in a better place? Are you concerned about market volatility and things like that? So that leads us to this like 201 group, right? And we've got a whole curriculum built out. Today we'll kind of touch on a bunch of different topics here, but what we want to do with this group. And I'm glad that Aaron is on here, and I don't mean to call you out because you're doing amazing things. I mean to call you out because of what you said to me on the phone on Monday. So this 201 group, what we want to do, what we want to accomplish, is get you to a point where you have more information, more knowledge, more confidence for you to start acting a little more independent when it comes to your fixed indexed annuity sales. So you're not always like dependent on others in order for you to be successful. We're going to help you create a level of independence, right? Independence. So you can be a little bit more independent on your own, and you can write more of these, and you can have more confidence. Aaron, you said this to me when we were going through an application, and Aaron and I were walking through it, and she goes, Joe, you just got to show me this one time. You just got to show me this one time. Yeah. There's some of this stuff that I can just really pick up if you just show it to me, because I want to know the information. I want to know how to do this. It was an awesome conversation. She didn't even know that we were having this 201 coming up and what the context of this, but that's exactly what this is. Does that make sense to the people that I can see? Bonnie Norris, I can only see you right now. Deanne, I can see you, right? Does that make sense? So that's what we're going to try to accomplish over our 201s. We want to help you become a little bit independent so you have the competency and confidence to start, just running your business. Next slide, please. So a few things here I want you guys to look at. So 201, go there. 201, growing in the FIA business agent development. We want you as an agent to grow in the FIA business, and we want to develop you as a FIA agent so you can really start to have that level of independence. Because I got a couple of bullet points here. I just did a little research, like I do. Everybody's got ChatGPT, pop it in there, Joe, see what comes out. Think about this. Clients don't need products. You would all agree that the people that just sell those recovery cares, they don't need products. They need solutions, right? They need things that have a solution to put them in a better position. Offering all lines, including the FIA, it builds that long-term plan rather than that one-time transaction, right? Everybody will say, well, somebody just wrote, one of my policy holders, Joe. Well, did they know who you were, right? Did they know who you were? And if they knew who you were and you have this relationship with them, my goodness, they're not going to they're going to pick up the phone and call you. FIAs do that for you, right? Selling across all lines, it's just not about selling more. It's about serving better, right? Serving your clients. Guys, we made a commitment to our associations to do this. It's important that you understand that and you know that. And FIA helps with that transition. Agents that sell all lines, they don't chase anything. They're not chasing anything down. They're so consultative in their conversations with their clients that, my goodness, the sale is just, it's a relationship. It's a conversation. It's, again, that solution that you're providing for Mr. and Mrs. Jones. And it's a holistic approach. And think about this. This has never been a true statement. Bonnie, I see you on here. You and I have had these dialogues so many times. It's like, just sell that one core product and move on, right? Just sell that one core product and move on. Yeah, you got them in the moment. Yeah, you got them in the moment. My neighbor just went down. She needed some care, didn't have a program in place. I need that recovery care ASAP. All right, in that moment, we get that program, and then we walk away. But man, those multi-lines, they solve for a lifetime. Mike Rice, you agree to that statements? You agree there? Makes sense, right? Now think about this. So when an agent requires less support, and you could go back through all your recovery cares, because if you don't need somebody to help you sell recovery care, I guarantee you the sale feels better. It's different, right? The less support that you have, the cases move faster. You have more confidence. The client experience is smoother. Credibility grows. Aaron, you said something again to me. Joe, Adele told me, Aaron, I will do exactly what you ask me to do because you've always put me in a good position. True statement, right? Independence will give you that. It will create that relationship with Mr. and Mrs. Jones. And again, you'll write more FIAs, you'll close quicker, they'll fund faster, and you'll produce more consistently. Look, I show a slide there that says, geez, if you only write 5 of these things in a 12-month period of time, you're going to write close to 600,000 based on what our averages are. You're going to earn 22 grand. 22 grand and a little bit more than that. And almost, 59, 60,000 trip points. And agents that need less support when offering fees, it leads to more referrals. You have a different relationship. You have the bond with the client. Jack, Gary, myself, or your FMLs don't. You do, and it'll lead to more referrals. And a self-sufficient fee agent, obviously, just to sum it up, closes fast, retains more, and frees up more resources to grow, not troubleshoot. So I hope that all sets in real good, because that's why we're doing. Wes Breeden, I don't know if my man's on the call. Look, you guys have seen this slide for Wes. So what does it mean, Joe, if I can have a level of independence, I can get a little bit more independent with my fixed indexed annuity, and I can be more consistent and start writing these things? Just some examples. Wesley, I don't know if he's on here, Bonnie, if you saw him or not, but this is something that Wes has done in a Morning Thrive, or he's done on another presentation. How do I make 100 grand? Okay. Well, if you're a multi-line agent, right? And you incorporate all the core products, right? Because they're all core. You have a track record to do this. Joe, I'm a short-term care person, 77%. Okay, 500,000 in fixed indexed annuity, a little other AP, get you 103,000 in first-year commissions. It's good business. Joe, my core, I'm a little bit there. Other 67, I'll write $1 million, right? You guys get the idea here. All the programs that we offer here at AMBA are important and impactful to Mr. and Mrs. Jones. So make sure that you understand that we are a multi-line company, and all these programs matter. But let's get you to that level of independence. I showed you how to make money. Let's get you that level of independence. So Michael, if you don't mind, let me share. And I didn't do this. I apologize. I got a little ahead of myself. Please, I have Bonnie here. I have Matt here. I have Kelsey. I have Michael. If there are questions, pop them in the chat. We'll get to them. We love Q&A. I see Kate on here. Kate, you got an appointment with Jack Danielson coming up. Good to see you. So we've got put your questions in chat. We'd love to get to those questions to make sure that we can get you where your needs are. And if you say, hey, Bonnie, Joe, Matt, whoever else on here, look, I want to learn a little bit more about this. Put those suggestions in there. We love the suggestion box. Pop some information in there. So, all right, I'm going to share, because I'm going to show you guys some resources that you have at your fingertips. And it's amazing that a lot of people don't know where some of these resources are. So let me do this. Let me show you where some of these resources are, because I got somebody that called me today and they said, Joe, I need an email address. I'm like, well, if you knew exactly where to go, don't you think that that would be a little bit more helpful if you knew where to go rather than reaching out to Joe to find an email address? So Amanda Goodwin, I can see you on here. Can you see my screen? Do you see the legacy screen? Great. Tanya, I see you on there. Andrew Bissett, I see you. Justin Bashan, I see you. Carl, I see you. Do you guys know this website exists? I'm being facetious here. Okay. Do you go there periodically, or do you just say, I'm gonna phone a friend? I'm gonna email somebody, right? I can't remember what the name of that game show was, but How to Be a Millionaire. Or at your fingertips and a click of a mouse, can you go to this website to be able to find information that's going to give you a level of independence that's going to help you grow your FIA business? I'm serious when I say this. You'd be surprised at the number of questions that we receive because people don't know where the resources are for them to be able to act, Paula, independently on their own. Okay? So Melissa, you just got off of one of my FSUs, I don't know, I can't remember how long you've been here, but we actually go through this and we show, just take a look at the website. So this person says, Joe, where all these email addresses are, I can't find them. My goodness. Just click contact us. Look at them all. They all come up. Email addresses, phone numbers, mailing addresses, right? They're all there for you. Is this helpful? Heidi, I see Gonzalez down there. Helpful? Understanding where it's at? Joe, look, somebody called me the other day. They're like, I can't sell one of these things without a brochure. I need a brochure. I send them to the website. They're like, I can't find the brochure. I said, did you look at tab 2? It says brochures, right? So you just click on here and it says marketing material and product brochures and inserts. It's all here. It's all on the Legacy website. Somebody came up to me the other day and they said, Joe, I don't know what the current rates are. Like, what do you mean you don't know what the current rates are? I'm looking for emails and I don't see an email about the current rates. Well, go to legacy.net. Just go ahead and click here and you might see something that says current rates. And you're going to see when these current rates download, hopefully it comes up on my screen, you're going to see a date here. Date 2/3, rates effective 2/3. They're right here. So I just want to make sure this group, as you start to produce more fixed indexed annuities, you understand that you have a wealth of resources out there where you don't have to phone a friend. Okay, you can go right to the website and you can find them. Somebody said, Joe, the standard, they're crazy. I don't know their website. Where can I get the information? If you don't have this website bookmarked, and you guys see right here too, do you guys have these bookmarks? Pathfinders, carrier websites, expenses, Salesforce, ChatGPT. Do you have these? And you put them in folders, and then you can put these websites, these links in folders. We have one specifically for Legacy. This is crazy. I got to move this. So you go to brokers and advisors. You take a look. You go to brokers and advisors. You click on this. And it's going to take you to all the information that you need. Everything is in here. There's a wealth of resources for you to be able to find different information. So you're going to be able to know where to go when it comes to Legacy. You can click on annuities. When you click on annuities, take a look at this. Select your distributor. Who's our distributor? Does anybody know? Legacy. Haiti Gonzalez. I see a Legacy. Look, you can go down right here. Legacy has their own site. Boom. Policy forms. Go get marketing toolkits, calculators, key resources, rates, all underneath the standards website. Is that helpful for you guys to know that? Now go ahead and start sharing again there, Michael. It's crazy. People will say they'll be like, Joe, I get it. I see that. Next slide, please. But there's so much information out there. I know Jim Kane's not here on here, but Andrea, you are, right? So Andrea's heard many, many times by Jim. Jim has always said there's so much information out there on the carrier websites. Go. Did you lose sound? Can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
We can hear
Okay.
you.
Okay. So just go to the carrier websites. I'll put these in the chat when Matt gets up here. But team, there's so much information. I want to make sure that we give you a comfortability and a level of independence to feel more competent and more confident in knowing where some of the resources are, so you can really, really, really take off with your FIA business. The FIA team is always going to be here to support you. Gary, Matt, Jack, Joe, Bonnie, Ron, we're all here to support your FMLs. But man, it's just a different business when you know where some of the resources are for you to have a level of independence. All right. So any questions to this point? We good? Anything in there that you saw, Kelsey Gray?
I think you're good.
Okay. All right, I'm going to let Matt Nordzik, obviously Matt's been here for just a little bit under a year, a little bit over a year, and he brings a wealth of information. But one of the questions that really gets people a little bit knotted up is, I don't understand where the money is, Joe, Matt, Gary, Jack. They'll tell me IRA, 401k, 403b, 457, or 401a. What in the world are they talking about? Again, if you have a little bit of that knowledge, a little bit of understanding, you get a better comfort level and you look different. You show up different with Mr. and Mrs. Jones. So I'm going to turn it over to Maddie. Maddie, take it away, partner, and drop a little bit of knowledge for us.
Okay. Well, we're going to keep this pretty simple. I see my little buddy Mandy 6 out there. Some of this is pointed directly at you, so pay attention. No. Mandy and I ran into a situation, and that's kind of what was the precipice of me building this out, because I think it's important for you guys to kind of understand what's what on some of this stuff. So next slide, please. Get that ugly guy off the screen. Okay, we're going to do a little overview of retirement accounts, just so when you're talking to your clients, and they say, well, yeah, I got some money in this and in that, and you don't get so confused about what they're talking about, right? Because we know that when client has accounts, they may be in a bunch of different places. They may have money in employer-sponsored accounts. They may have retirement accounts that they opened individually, or that used to be employer accounts and now they're owned individually. They may have Roth accounts, they may have traditional accounts, they may have non-qualified accounts, right? That gets confusing. That's a lot of different stuff to try to keep track of. It's not that confusing once you kind of get it straight in your head of what's what. So we're just going to run through them today. I don't expect this to flip the light switch and for you to know everything at the end of this, okay? This is just educational. This is another step forward in you guys feeling more confident when you're talking to your clients. Next slide, please. So what we're looking at is, first, the most common one we see are IRAs, right? That means that I have money in an IRA, which is an individual retirement account. I own it. It's in some kind of account. It's an IRA. Traditional tax deductible means they put it into the account and it's money that has never been taxed. That's a traditional IRA. That money went into account, it gets to grow tax deferred without ever being taxed on the front end. What's the downside of that? When it comes out, every penny is going to get taxed. And there's special rules on how it comes out. And there's RMDs involved, required minimum distributions. The second kind of IRA is a Roth. A Roth IRA is money that you put in after you paid taxes on it. And because it's in this special Roth IRA, all the growth is tax-free, as long as we follow a couple certain rules when pulling that money out. Has to be in there for at least 5 years. You got to be 59 and a half, all that fun stuff to get that growth out. Okay? And there's no required minimum distributions on a Roth IRA. You don't ever have to take the money out. I wanted to throw this in there just so you understand. If they're still working, they may be still putting money into a traditional IRA or a Roth IRA. The limit in 2026 went up a bunch. So in other words, if you have somebody that's still working and they say, I've got about $22,000, and you say, I can't start an annuity with $22,000. But if they're still working and their income isn't too high, because there's an income limit for traditional IRA that has a bunch of rules involved in it. That's where you want to bring us in and talk about it. They may be able to just add $3,000 or $4,000 to that as traditional IRA contributions for this year, if they have earned income. We do that sometimes to get them to that 25,000 mark. Now, a traditional IRA or a Roth IRA, when you hear that, sometimes you'll ask a client a question, do you have an IRA? I have an annuity. Does that mean they have an IRA or don't have an IRA? Or they say, I've got a brokerage account. Does that mean they have an IRA or don't have an IRA? Maybe. The important umbrella is IRA. The product inside of IRA can be anything. It may be an annuity, a variable annuity, a FIA, a fixed annuity, a single premium annuity, a single premium deferred annuity. It could be anything. It can be mutual funds, stocks, bonds. It can be banks, CD, money market, savings account, can all be labeled as an IRA. So you have to understand and help your client to understand IRA is the IRS's signifier of the tax type. The product is something completely different. Just because you have an annuity doesn't mean you have an IRA or don't have an IRA. So how do we solve this when a client says, well, I have X, and you really don't know what they have and they don't know what they have? How do we solve it? Get a statement. Every time. Don't be afraid to ask for a statement. It's the most important piece of this pie. When you're putting this puzzle together and you have the statements, it goes together in seconds. When you come to me or Jack or Gary and say, I got this client, they've got some money, we're not sure where it is. If you didn't bother to even ask for a statement, you're setting us back 2 appointments. That's 2 more appointments we're going to have to get scheduled and have with this client. One, for me to figure out, yep, they have some accounts and I don't have the statements. Mr. and Miss Client, can you get the statements together? Get those to Amanda Goodwin. She'll get them to me. And then we'll figure out where we go from there. And then we get to the second appointment. Okay, I got your statements. Here's some of the stuff you have. Let me tell you what we do. And then we get deeper into the process. If I have the statements for the first meeting, we're 2 appointments ahead of schedule. And that's where we go from 101 to 201. At 101, I'm just begging you to make me some appointments, right? This is 201.
Hey, Matt, you bring up some good points about the statements, and you made me think of a few things here. You know, and one of the things, team, that, you know, Matt, I agree, because we didn't talk about this yesterday when we were going over this, But that statement, asking Mr. and Mrs. Jones for that statement, that, I mean, that's a trusting, that's a commitment thing, right? We're going to commit to this. We've got a level of trust here that we're building, and I really want to help you. And in order for me to help you, I've got to be able to diagnose you. And if I don't know what the symptoms are, if I don't know what you got, it's hard for Matt, Gary, and Jack. So what Matt's saying there is have the confidence to say, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, for us to accurately do our job the best way we can, making sure that we have a most current statement is going to be helpful for us. Why don't you go dig those out? I'll wait.
Love it. Sometimes they can't right then and there, and I get that. Ask them to bring them to that first appointment at least, right? Ask them to have them handy. If they say, well, I've got them, they're all on paper, ask them to take a picture and send it to you. Does everybody here know how to turn a picture into an email to me? Good. So I won't ever get
we're not going to train on that one today,
from Matt. You with a bunch of pictures, right? You knew where I was going because I complain about it every time. I don't like looking at them on my phone. I don't have my text on my computer. I don't have my Apple computer, right? So if you can email those to yourself or to me, then we got it. Then we've got something. Now we're cooking with grease, okay? Next slide, please. So first was IRA. Second one we want to talk about is employer-sponsored plans. An IRA is individually owned. A 401k, right? We see a lot of those, don't we? Does a client own their 401k? Nope. Their employer owns it. They are the beneficiary of it. It is managed by a third-party administrator. For 401ks, it's usually the 401k company that's offering the investments is the third-party administrator. What's that mean? It means in order to get money out of a 401k, you're basically asking permission because it's not your account. They have traditional 401ks and they have Roth 401ks. With a 401k, they can have both types in the same account. When it comes to us, if we roll that over to us, we don't get to roll that into one account. We have to start two annuities if they have traditional and Roth, and they each have to have $25,000 in them. Keep that in mind. That's just a little info for the back of your head to think about if you're looking at a statement. Maybe the employer put some money in it as a match. Maybe they didn't. That won't really affect us unless they haven't been with that employer very long. They're retiring or leaving and they want to roll that over. They're going to need to understand that there's a vestment period there in order to get all that money. How much money are they able to put into a 401k? As an old 403b, 401k guy, let me tell you, this is the most important thing I taught agents. If you're signing somebody up to make contributions, you tell them how much they can put in before you ask them how much they want to put in. You can put in up to $24,500 this year, a little over $2,000 a month. Are you capable of doing that? No. Well, how much would you like to put in? Obviously, we don't sell 401ks. We don't really care that they can put $24,500 in, but not all of our clients are retired. And it's our duty to share this knowledge with them that, hey, if you're going to retire in the next 5 years, now's when you got to stack that thing as full as you can. Why do we want them to do that? Because on retirement day, I want more money to roll over and I want them to have a better retirement. What kind of products are in 401ks? Almost always it's mutual funds, right? It may have company stock in it. The bonds are usually bond mutual funds or ETFs, which are another type of fund. Occasionally, a 401k can be an annuity. It was more popular 25 years ago. Every once in a while, you'll still find an annuity 401k. Okay, next slide. The most popular one for us with teachers is 403Bs. That's a teacher's 401k. It still is employer sponsored. They don't own it. And the confusing part of this one is the person or the company that's offering them the investment, the 403B investment, whether it's Corebridge, whether it's, Horace Mann, American Funds, Vanguard, I don't care who it is, 99 times out of 100, they are not the third-party administrator. There's a separate company handling the administrative work on it. So now you have to ask permission from 2 places to get your money out or move it. It's important to know that. It's important the client knows that. You start explaining to them how many people they have to ask permission of to move their money, and they're more willing to move it once and get it out of there.
Hey, Matt, I'm gonna interrupt here again. Matt said something earlier about statements, right? And getting somebody's 403B statement will let you know too, who the third party administrator is, or the school's office will, in order for you to be able to understand that. So what we want you guys to understand is when you're coming across, because we do work with a lot of retired teachers, is there a third party administrator, right? So just so you hear and you understand, so when you're having those dialogues and conversations, you're confident in having that dialogue. So just make sure that that's a note that you're taking. So,
and don't be surprised if they don't know who it is,
or they don't know. So then you call the office,
and it's not that hard to find the answer, right? Hey, would you mind if we make a quick call to your payroll folks at the school? They'll know, right? The good news is third-party administrators, the biggest ones, are making it easier to get that money rolled out. TSA Omni, which is one company, anything that's in TSA or Omni as a third-party administrator, you can do it all online. Simple, easy. In Texas, TCG. Once you've done one with TCG, you'll find that it's not that tough to deal with. Right, Deanna? Could be worse. Okay. There are some out there that are still kind of paper signatures and take forever. All right. But 403Bs are very common. You're going to see 403Bs. Usually inside of a 403B in today's world, you can have traditional or Roth or both. Okay. But a lot of 403Bs are still old annuity 403Bs. And those are most often traditional 403Bs in an annuity. That one, you want one of us to look at it and tell you what you're looking at. We've seen them all. We'll recognize it in most cases. Okay. It may be mutual fund based. But when they're mutual fund based, they'll be with Vanguard, American Funds, those. If it's mutual fund based, but with a Horace Mann or a Corebridge or somebody like that, an annuity company, they're what we call a hybrid. What's that mean? it means it's mutual funds, but there's also a fixed annuity option in it. Well, when I mark on the rollover form, do I mark annuity or mutual fund? You mark mutual fund. Because if it's mutual fund based if it's a hybrid, just because it has a fixed annuity option in it, we still consider it a mutual fund rollover, not an annuity rollover. Makes paperwork easier, trust me. Okay? But knowing that will make life easier. All right, next slide, please. More rare on the occasion is 457s, but we see some, especially in places like Texas, where they pushed 457s for years. Or if you have state employees. State employees don't have 403Bs like teachers do. State employees have 457, otherwise known as, anybody? Deferred comp. There you go. I knew somebody had that one. Deferred comp plans, 457s. In today's world, they also have a Roth option for them, but 99% of them are traditional. Okay? They're very similar to move as a 401k or anything else. Okay? Generally, they are mutual fund based. Next slide. Why? Because there's more. 401A is really similar to the 457 deferred comp. Okay? I see more 401As in the school world for folks that either had plop, drop, something like that, or they had sick leave, and they'll put sick leave in what they call a 401A. All right? It's not a big deal. Don't get confused by it. It's just another IRS signifier. By the way, does everybody realize that all these numbers that they use are actually the actual IRS code that these are listed under? So you go to the IRS code to section 401A, and that's where you find how they explain these accounts. The employer sets the contribution rules. They can be a lot of different things, and they're rare. We don't see that many of them, okay? If you see one, just don't have your mind blown by it. It's just another retirement account, okay? Next slide. So here's just everything on a page, right? The important thing is if it's an IRA, it's already owned by the client. And when we roll that over, it's not a rollover. It's called a transfer. IRA to IRA is a transfer because all we're dealing with is IRAs. Well, what if they have a 401k and a 403b and a 457? Awesome. They all roll into our IRA. How can I get it out of a 401k, 403b, 457 and into an IRA? Retire or leave that employer. Or in some cases, if they're still working, but they're over 59 and a half, I can still roll it out. Any questions on that? Pretty simple stuff once you get used to seeing it. Okay, next slide. Non-qualified money. Non-qualified money means it's not treated by the IRS in any way. It's basically bank account money. Oftentimes we see it because somebody got money from a life insurance, their spouse died and they got life insurance proceeds. That's tax-free income to them, right? But it is now considered non-qualified assets. They have savings. They've built up some money in the savings account. That is considered non-qualified assets. Anything that's not in any type of retirement program that's IRS controlled is considered non-qualified. We see it often with non-qualified annuities, right? Somebody owns a non-qualified annuity. How do we move money out of a non-qualified annuity into an annuity with us? Well, a non-qualified annuity to a non-qualified annuity is done with a 1035 exchange. That is an IRS signification, right? IRS says you can move that money without paying taxes on it if you use a 1035 exchange. Here's the important thing, the whole point of what I want you to understand about this. If I own an old non-qualified annuity with Corebridge, and I started it with $50,000 and it's currently at $75,000. And I do a 1035 exchange into the standard. I move 75,000, the whole thing in. Standard now is going to ask you a question. Okay? What is the cost basis? What is the cost basis on this money you moved over? Well, I don't know. Client says, I don't know. Simplify it. All they're asking is, how much did the client put in after-tax dollars into that old annuity? Standard needs to know that. Why do they need to know that? So that when the client makes a withdrawal from Standard, they know how much to report to the IRS as taxable earnings. Because if you don't give them a cost basis, they're going to get taxed on every penny of it. Because Standard has no way of knowing how much of that was after-tax money unless we tell them. How much is the cost basis? Because often the company that's surrendering that money, because they're not required by law to put it in there, won't put it in there. Some will, some won't. Cost basis, most important thing to know about that. What money can I move into a non-qualified annuity, right? You can also save cost basis on an old life insurance policy that you don't need anymore. Some people have these old variable life policies that they've been paying into for 30, 40 years. They maybe originally thought that they were going to take income off of it because that's how it was sold to them. But they've decided they don't need the extra income right now, and they don't want to keep paying premium. And they don't need the life insurance. They've got other life insurance or they're self-insured. They can move money from that life insurance policy, that cash value, into a non-qualified annuity and keep the cost basis and keep deferring taxes. The only thing to know about that, it doesn't work the other way. I can't move money from non-qualified annuity into life insurance. That's not allowed. But I can move it not without paying tax first. But I can move it from life insurance into non-qualified annuities. Okay? Endowment contracts are another one. We're not even getting into that. It's a whole different.
Hey, Maddie, real quick here. I want everybody to hear what Matt just said there, right? Because we know when we're talking to Mr. and Mrs. Jones and we're having these dialogues and conversations, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, do you currently have life insurance? Do you have a plan in place? Right? And you're shaking your head because they should. Do you have a plan in place? Oh, I do, Aaron, but I don't know what I have. Go get those statements. Pull those statements. Let's take a look at those. And then right then and there, you have an opportunity to transition. What are the proceeds for? I just put it into chat. Bought an IUL, back at the HM. I'm sorry, it was a UL. We didn't have IULs. UL back at the HM days, 25 years ago. Used the cash value to pay for college tuition for 1 year. They have these. Mr. and Mrs. Jones could have these policies that now you could say, okay, you got 30 grand in here. Let's go ahead and take that and put it in with the standard, give you 4%, 15% liquidity, blah, blah, blah. So great stuff, Mac. Great stuff. I'll let you go on. We got about 6 minutes because I got a couple of things to finish up with.
Well, you talk too long. It's all your fault.
I always do.
Next slide.
I can't stop.
It's good to have a boss you can give a hard time to, isn't it? All right. So ineligible. Annuities going to life insurance is not permitted. IRAs, 401ks, 403bs cannot go into a non-qualified annuity. Ownership change. This is a big one. This is a pitfall. Hang on to this one. Client says, yes, I have a non-qualified annuity. And you look at it and it's in that individual's name. And they say, well, I want the new one to be owned by both of us. Not if you're moving funds. It has to be titled exactly the same way. But if you want to have joint annuitants or joint on the income rider, we can do that. You just can't change the ownership of it. Does that make sense? That one catches a lot of people. Next slide, please. When should we and shouldn't we move annuities? You guys have heard us and you've done this enough, right? We always evaluate surrender charges and market value adjustment, right? That's our first step. Should we or shouldn't we? Then we want to look at what's their guaranteed interest rate on the old annuity. Talked to a client today. They said, oh, I've got an old Horace Mann. I said, what's it called? And he said, annuity alternative. I said, it's got a guaranteed 4.5. We probably don't want to move that. No, I don't want to move that. Okay. I said, are you using the guaranteed 4.5 or do you have all the money in expensive funds in that contract? Because that's a variable annuity. Oh, it's invested in all kinds of stuff. I said, are you happy with that? No. I said, you call Horace Mann, tell him put it all in the 4.5, okay? Okay, done. Now, I don't know every company's products the way I know Horace Mann's, but I know that one, okay? Several companies have old annuities with 4.5, 5, and 5.5% guarantees. Do you want to move those? I don't mean guaranteed for a while. They're guaranteed for life. Hard to move those, right? Okay. What advantages are they getting by moving it? It's a simple, pros and cons. Once we've gotten through, yeah, it might be a good fit. Well, why is it a good fit? And if anybody ever comes to you with a suitability question, you need to have notes that you've taken that says, here's what was good. Here's why we did it. The suitability form in the app will take care of most of that for you. But you all ought to be keeping notes. I don't throw away a note ever that I took with a client. I have reams of notebooks. I keep them. I know people who have needed to pull those out and go to court. So keep them. All right. Next one, please. So that's going back to cost basis again. The one time we don't care about cost basis. Client says, I have a variable annuity, but I've taken some money out of it and it's been losing money. Well, what's the current cost basis on it? Because cost basis goes down if you dig into it, right? Well, cost basis is 42,000. And how much is in it? 41,000. Great. Cash it out. It won't cost you 1 penny of taxes to cash that out. Too often we get to going through the app and we just click on that transfer bow or transfer in this account. Don't transfer money that shouldn't be transferred. Annuity contracts that have less in them than the cost basis, cash them out and EFT the money. You'll find it takes about 2 to 3 weeks less time to get the money in, and it's a lot easier. Number 2, if they have a brokerage account, don't do transfer paperwork for non-qualified brokerage accounts. That brokerage company will find 97 ways for you not to get their money. And it's not necessary. If it's non-qualified, they have to sell the assets anyway. Sell the assets, move the money to the checking account or savings account and let us EFT it. There's no advantage to filling out transfer paperwork for non-qualified brokerage accounts, not one single advantage. It can only cost you weeks of time, headache, pulling your hair out. Trust me, it's awful. Right, Gary DeVito? All right.
You are correct, sir.
Next one, please. I think we're about there. Oh, I'm back to Joe or Bonnie. Who wants this? You're muted, Joe.
I was on mute. I was off mute. I appreciate that, Steve. Yes, we can do EFT for non-qualifieds, or if a company will do an EFT, some will. We have to ask them to do that. We can do EFTs. Bonnie Norris, as much information, relevant information, like when it comes to statements like fees, riders, surrender values, things like that. Obviously, cost base is important as well too. So just from a statement perspective. Some of that information, but hey, I appreciate the group that was on here, and we're gonna do more like we want to educate you, want to give you the knowledge, we want to give you the tools, because when you're talking to Mr. and Mrs. Jones and you're not with Matt, Gary, Jack, or your FML, we want you to at least have a level of independence that you feel comfortable enough kind of chatting with them a little bit. We're not saying you got to be experts like Matt, Gary, and Jack. Eventually, yeah, maybe. But we're here to support you. We're here to help you. But through these 201 series, we're gonna train you up. We're gonna tool you up. We're gonna give you what you need in order to have that level of independence where you write these more consistently over a period of time, and you continue to make the money that you make and earn, because you deserve it for sure. So I appreciate that. I'm gonna have Bonnie. I don't know if Bonnie is on here. Bonnie's still on here. With Teams, I can't see who's on here.
I'm on here, Joe.
All right, I'm gonna let you finish this up. I got a little challenge for you, young lady. What's this challenge all about, huh? You didn't even know about this slide, did you? You didn't know about it.
I didn't. You just don't mind putting me on the spot, do you? All good. One of the things that we talked about, some of us who had one-on-ones this week, we covered this, but you'll remember a few people started at the end of last year adding this one sentence at the end of every appointment that they run. So a lot of times we have people who want to sell FIA, but they don't exactly know how to pitch FIA. They're not ready yet. They're not confident. They're not comfortable. If you just go through your whole process on the appointment and then at the very end, add this sentence, and you don't have to say another thing. You just need to schedule the appointment. And that's what we have the FIA team for. I know this group is trying to get to the place where they don't have to rely on the FIA team as much, But what we'd like to do is have you implement this and then report back to Joe and or me and say, you know, here's kind of the number of appointments, the lift that I've gotten from putting this into my regular process. That sentence sounds simply like this. I also want to make you aware that as an AMBA client, you have access to a complimentary service. Through our financial services team, they will review your current retirement accounts to be certain that your money is not exposed to market loss. When would you like to schedule that appointment? Simple, easy, just to the point. They've trusted you to go through the appointment you just had and or make the sale you just made. Just throw the 1 or 2 sentences on there and see what you get. Joe?
Absolutely, Bonnie. I appreciate that. And that's pastel yellow, just so everybody knows. But it is a challenge. And the challenge is I want this group to ask on every appointment. If you're not already doing it throughout your time with Mr. and Mrs. Jones, just take this, have it written down, put it on a note card, whiteboard, right? Put it on your whiteboard and just challenge yourself. Just challenge yourself, right? I mean, you came to AMBA to sell insurance. My goodness, Matt Nordsick, Gary DeVito, fixed index annuities are an insurance product, right? So we appreciate the time today. Appreciate you giving you some knowledge. Again, we'll have these consistently throughout the year. And Bonnie Norris, thank you for some suggestions. I love it, and you're right on, spot on. We will have some of those details. But big thanks to Michael and Kelsey for helping us put this together. But the FIA team is here to help you. Just set appointments. We'll train you up. We'll tool you up. We'll help close these things and really help you just grow your business. So if that's all we got, that's all I got. We good? All right,
Thanks,
everybody.
Joe.
Have a great night. See ya.
Bye-bye.